Mr. President, I'm also standing to support this extension, but I'm worried, and I want to express it, that government is a continuing place. In the next coming budget, say 2025, which they should carry over anything remaining in 2024 into the 2025. By this, we will stop all this extension and extension and extension. Any new budget should encompass part of the previous budget items that have not been implemented. And that should be the way we'll be going about this. Thank you.
I think I tend to agree with you that in subsequent budgets, whatever has not been implemented in the previous budget should be carried forward. That way, the issue of extension will not reoccur. I hope the chairman of appropriation will be well guided when he's dealing with the Minister of Budget and National Planning and the Minister of Finance and the Budget Office, so that way, whatever they are not able to accomplish by December, as they are bringing the 2025 appropriation bill, all those things should be included in those things for us to deliberate on and ensure that they are completed. Distinguished Senator Nengi.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Ningi Abdul, and I represent Bauchi Central of Bauchi State. Mr. President, let me say I am in full support of the provision to extend this budget to 2024 December. That is, of course, in tandem with the sweeping powers or near sweeping powers of the Parliament in the Constitution under Powers and Control of Public Funds, Section 80, 82, Section 80, Sub 2, Sub 3, and Sub 4 has clearly demonstrated the powers of the National Assembly to prescribe into law how government money in the consolidated revenue is disseminated. Section 3 further also told us about how the National Assembly should make laws whereby monies actually comes out from the public funds. So the entire Section 80 inherently giving powers for us to do what you are asked to do. But as a pointer to that, it is important that this should not be becoming a normal procedure within the appropriation year period. It is important to understand we started last year, and we need to put a thinking cap in making sure that this doesn't repeat itself in the subsequent years ahead. What I'm trying to say, this should not be seen as a normal, but it is necessary at this point in time because of the positive funds coming into the government revenues and because of the near need as an emergency to the citizens of this country in making sure that we allow this extension to move forward. Because all we do here is to represent the people and the people's interests. And the issue of technicalities, when it comes to fighting insecurity, when it comes to fighting hunger, should not be the reason why we turn down this resolution fully and well canvassed by the Senate leader. So I think it is important we do that. Lastly, it is important to also look at the last comment, which you have also alluded to it, whereby at the end of the financial year, some projects are not implemented. The financial bill has given us the right to carry it forward to the incoming year. That's what you call carry forward. And then it should be implemented, it should be joined with that next year's budget. It is important, lastly, sir, that the chairman of appropriation, the chairman of finance, should be able to make sure that before December, there that these particular inputs are actually implemented. And if for any reason the government could not do that, they should report back to the National Assembly for discussion. It is important that we do that. Even as we are doing that, we do not know of what percentage has the supplementary budget been implemented. We need to know the percentage. We need to know how many remaining to be able to have a 100% implementation. I think it is the right move, and the Parliament should be able to give its note to this particular request. I so submit.
Distinguished Senator Nengi, I think you've done clear elucidation. Where we are considering the appropriation bill for 2025, the committees on finance, the committees on appropriation, the committees on all the other organs that make up the budget process should be able to ask questions. And if, for any reason, some of these projects are not concluded or fully implemented, then they should submit the level of implementation, and we should include it in the next year's budget as ongoing and appropriate accordingly. That way, there will be no need to think of extension. I think that's the proper thing to do. Senator Wadada, you have something to add?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. President. I am Senator Ahmed Wadada Aliyu Serkin Kefi. Distinguished colleagues, while I align myself to the extension of the budget, I would really like to throw more light on what Senator Indume really spoke about. As we are extending the budget, we should, as a matter of responsibility, exclude recurrent. And the reason is this. If, for instance, in the budget, the initial budget, recurrent shows an item where seminar or conference would have been attended, but wasn't attended because there was no fund. Now that you are extending the budget, that means it is going to be carried over. Meanwhile, the period of such exercise would have been gone. So I think we should concentrate more on capital. Capital items should be the items that we should concentrate more in extending, rather than extending both capital and recurrent. I so contribute.
Thank you. Senator Wadada, don't do the work of ICPC for them. Where a seminar had passed, and then because of this extension, somebody decides to appropriate or to take the money for a seminar he did not attend, then it means ICPC will look into it. So don't worry about it. The agents, all the agencies of government have different jobs to do. But I take cognizance of what you have just said. But remember what Senator Oju said. We are extending the lifespan of a budget, and we are extending the lifespan of the supplementary budget. The other issues of implementation are left to the executive. Then the issue of oversight is left to the legislature. We are going to do the oversight and be sure of what they are doing. And from time to time, we are here. They will bring their reports, and then they'll bring their findings, and we'll look into those findings. We can't conclude the problems of the future at this stage. Therefore, I will put the question. Distinguished colleagues, those who support that this bill be read a second time, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The clerk, you may proceed to read the two bills the second time.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to amend the 2023 Appropriation Act in order to extend the implementation year from 30 June 2024 to 31st December 2024 and for related matters 2024. Second reading. Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to amend the 2023 Supplementary Appropriation Act in order to extend the implementation year from 30 June 2024 to 31st December 2024 and for related matters 2024. Second reading.
Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to amend the 2023 Appropriation Act to further extend its implementation year to 31st day of December 2024 and for related matters 2024, SB 489, second reading taken. Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to amend the 2023 Supplementary Appropriation Act to further extend its implementation year to 31st day of December 2024 and for related matters 2024. Second, SB 488, second reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President and distinguished colleagues. Mr.
Leader,
President,
no, let me put it this way. Distinguished colleagues, having concluded the arguments, those in support that the two bills be now remitted to the committee of the whole, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So the leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues,
you may wish to move a motion that we move into Committee of Supply. So we will do the clause-by-clause consideration.
Mr. President of the Federal Republic of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I so move.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I so support.
Yeah. Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that this August Assembly do refer to Committee of Supply in order to consider the clause-by-clause considerations of the extensions of the two bills. Those in support of this motion say aye, and those against say nay. The ayes have it. We now revert to Committee of Supply.
Clauses 1, 2, and 3, the long title and the explanatory memorandum. Both of them are just three clauses. This is the first one. This is the second.
Distinguished colleagues,
It's your document.
Distinguished colleagues, 2023 Appropriation Act Amendment Bill 2024. An act to amend the 2023 Appropriation Act to further extend its implementation year to 31st day of December 2024. To be enacted by the National Assembly. Clause Clause 1. Those in support of Clause 1 as amended, say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in support of Clause 2 as amended, say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 3. Those in support of the citation as inserted, say aye. Aye. Those Against say nay. The ayes have it. The explanatory memorandum. The bill seeks to amend the 2023 Appropriation Act, extending its implementation year to 31st day of December 2024. Those in support of retaining this clause as inserted say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, I rise pursuant to Order 8 sub 3 of our rules to move for extension of time to enable us see beyond 2 p.m. So that we'll be able to complete the items on the other paper for the day. Mr. President, I so move.
Minority Leader.
I move to second the motion that we extend the time, the Senate extends the time to enable it to complete the items on the other paper. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, a motion has been moved and seconded that we extend the time of our sitting beyond 2 o'clock to enable us to conclude the items on the other paper. Those in support of this extension say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The second consideration of the bill. The bill for an act to amend the 2023 supplementary appropriation in order to extend the time of its implementation to 31st day of December 2024. Clause 1. Those in support of clause 1 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 2. Those in support of clause 2 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 3. Those in support of clause 3 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Explanatory memorandum. Those in support of this explanatory memorandum as written say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sitting as chair, very distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the Senate reverts to plenary to enable the chair report progress. I so move.
Minority Leader.
The President, distinguished colleagues, I second the motion that the President of the Senate sitting as chair that reverts to the plenary to enable the chair report progress. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded. Those who are in support of the motion say aye. Distinguished colleagues, the Senate in the Committee of Supply considered the bill for an act to amend the Appropriation Act, Amendment 2023, to further extend its implementation to 31st day of December 2024 and for related matters, and approved as follows. Clauses 1 to 2 as recommended. Explanatory memorandum as recommended. Short title clause 3 as recommended. Long title page 1 as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Supply? Distinguished colleagues, the Senate in the Committee of Supply also considered the second bill for an act to amend the Supplementary Appropriation Act 2023 to further extend its implementation period to 31st day of December 2024. and for related matters, and approved as follows. Clauses 1 and 2 as recommended. Explanatory memorandum as recommended. Short title clause 3 as recommended. Long title page 1 as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of Supply? Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of Supply? Leader of the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Very distinguished colleagues. Mr. President, I move that the Senate yet again suspend its Rule 78.1 in order to read the bill for the third time. I so move, Mr. President.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I support the motion that the bill be read a third time. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that this bill be now read a third time in compliance with the suspension of our rules 78.1. Those in support of this motion as seconded say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The clerk of the Senate, you may proceed to read the bills.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to amend the 2023 Appropriation Act in order to extend the implementation year from 30 June 2024 to 31st December 2024 and for related matters 2024. Third reading. Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to amend the 2023 Supplementary Appropriation Act in order to extend the implementation year from 30 June 2024 to 31st December 2024 and for related matters 2024. Third reading.
Distinguished colleagues, including Senator Nenge, a bill for an act to amend the 2023 Appropriation Act in order to extend the implementation year from 30th June 2024 to December 31st, 2024, and for related matters 2024. Third reading taken and passed. Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to amend the 2023 Supplementary Appropriation Act in order to extend the implementation year from 20th day of June 2024 to 31st day of December 2024 and for related matters 2024. Third reading taken and passed. Let me thank all distinguished senators for their patriotic contributions to the discourse on this amendment of the Appropriation Acts. First, the extension of the 2023 appropriation from 30th day of June 2024 to 31st day of June 2024. And second, for the extension of the 2023 Supplementary Appropriation Act from 30th day of June 2024 to 31st day of December 2024 and for later matters thereto. I thank you for your contributions. I thank you for your patriotic duties. And most especially, I thank you for your timely intervention, which will enable us and enable the executive arm of our government to continue with projects without abandonment. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Distinguished Senator Jimmy Kuta. Okay. So, point of order. Leader of the Senate, the distinguished Senator Jimmy Kuta has agreed that we should proceed in line with our process, and then on our return, he will go ahead to move his personal explanation. So, Leader of the Senate.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, having concluded the business of the day and other items on the order paper, I rise to move that we do adjourn for the next 1 hour so that we can come back to consider the votes and proceedings for today. And in so moving, Mr. President, let me say that as a parting word, this Senate is aware of the insinuation in some section of the media that Mr. President, in closing, I want to say that the Senate is aware of some insinuation in a section of the media to the extent that the President of the Senate, leading this Senate, either had at one time indicated that we had a request that the purchase of a new plane be approved for Mr. President, and that the President of the Senate had indicated that regardless of what Nigerians were going through, that would be approved. That was one. And the Senate is also aware that Mr. President tried to clarify this issue, that at no point did he say that. Then another section of the media picked on that again to say the President of the Senate, again leading the 10th Senate, has said whatever Mr. President liked, he should go and do. This Senate will not approve the purchase of a plane. And as we sat here today, a section of the social media had also been circulating that we had gone into an executive session to discuss about the presidential request for a new plane and how we're going to approve it. Mr. President, the essence of my saying this is just to make it clear and to alert Nigerians that there is the presence of a fifth columnist and some other propagandists who are doing everything possible to destabilize this country and also destabilize the parliament. Mr. President, I say for the record, as the leader of this Senate, that there is no request before this Senate as of yet. So there could not have even been a basis for us to debate whether we are going to approve or not. It had never been discussed either on the floor of this Senate or among individual senators or at the executive's closed session. There is no such request. If the request comes, it's not about Mr. President of the Senate alone. It's for 469 elected representatives of the Nigerian people to discuss and take a position. 360 in the House of Reps, 109 in the Senate. But as we speak, Mr. President, there is no such request. And I just want all of us to be clear about this. I thank you, Mr. President.
Well, the Senate leader, it's not good for us to run the Senate by answering people in the social media. Because the social media is garbage in, garbage out. I was in Zanzibar attending to Inter-Parliamentary Union meetings when that information went out that the Senate President has said he will approve a brand new plan for the President, irrespective of whether there is suffering or no suffering. There was never a time such a statement came from me, because I've never had any correspondence to approve a plan or not approve a plan. And I did not want to answer, but they went further to generate it, and then they went wrong as if I was saying that I did not care about the Nigerian people, I did not do this. We care about the president, we care about the Nigerian people. We will approve things that will benefit the Nigerian people. We will approve things that will improve the living standard of the people. At the same time, we will also take cognizance of the duties of Mr. President. If his vehicle is bad, we will repair the vehicle. If his plane is bad, we will approve money for the repair of the plane. So that is not an issue. There is nothing before us. I don't think you should bother about it. Somebody called me and said that he was quoting from BBC, that what I said in Senator Mongunu's house, that the statement was false and should be disregarded, that I was now saying that I will not approve. That is what you may call anticipatory blackmail. The purveyors of the story know very well that maybe there is problem with the presidential fleet, and that where they will go to will be the parliament. And so they are now trying to do anticipatory blackmail to tell us if they bring it, do not look into it. So I think that we should ignore them and focus on what we are doing here. I've read the president's correspondences to us. There was nothing touching on plan or no plan. But I can tell you that when you hear stories such as the death of the vice president of Malawi as a result of defective plan, and then you hear stories such as the death of the president of Iran as a result of defective craft. In fact, this time it was a helicopter and all that. We shouldn't ever dream and allow such to be a portion. It won't be. The Senate is very responsible. The National Assembly is very responsible. We will look into issues that will benefit the governance of the country, irrespective of anticipatory blackmail. Get the words, anticipatory blackmail. They know very well that something like that may come in future, and if it's a necessity, the Senate will look into it. But there is nothing like that before us now. So they can go ahead, anticipate, and blackmail the Senate President. It will not affect me. Minority Leader, you may wish to second, not what he said, but just second the motion that we adjourn for about 1 hour to come back to approve the votes and proceedings of this August chamber. Proceed.
Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, I like to second the motion moved by Senate Leader that we adjourn for about 1 hour to come back and approve the vote and proceeding of today. I so second.
Thank you. Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that we adjourn for 1 hour to come back to conclude the business of approving our votes and proceedings. Those in support of the motion as moved, say aye. And those again say nay. The ayes have it.